Talk Tonight and streaming online at newstalkkgvo.com.
Well, good evening. The drums are tightened, the guitars are tuned, the microphones are on.
Ho!
It is Sports Talk Tonight with Gurnz and Bedard, and we have a member of the band in town tonight.
House band Tabes.
What's up, guys?
Tabor.
Always a pleasure to have you in here, man.
Another day in paradise.
Yeah, and we figured you just weren't busy enough with football overlapping basketball. Let's bother him and make him come in for Sports Talk Tonight. You got nothing going on.
You know what? There's a window in here that I can see the light of day, so I'm happy.
This is dinner time, and it's taken up by us.
There's
That's
a real
right.
world out there that I don't know about right now.
You don't have a window in your office.
I don't.
Do you? You're kind of under a staircase there.
So that was the highlight of going to the Northern Arizona in Flagstaff, is that it was about 75, close to 80 degrees out.
Yeah, I heard it
the
was
day
beautiful.
of the game, and before we left the hotel, because it was an evening game, I just wandered down to the pool outside, and I was like, man, vitamin D, like sitting by the pool, just like soaking up some rays. It was I'm not going to see it again until April, so I soaked it up.
Oh, over 30,000 students now on the NAU campus.
Seriously.
Triple that of roughly of that of the University of Montana. I mean, that's a big,
Not
big
triple.
campus.
Almost triple, Denny.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's we're just
It's a lot more.
yeah,
It's a lot.
It's a whole
more.
lot more.
it's a nice campus.
They're doing a lot of things there. A lot of building going on that campus. New apartments for students. They put all the kids in apartments, not dorms. And so what it seemed anyway,
Yeah.
for what I saw. A lot of new buildings going up. A lot of retail stuff around campus. So if Flagstaff is doing some good stuff.
Yeah, and it's a lot like Missoula. The climate. It's they got snow in the winter. It's cold. It's mountainous. A neat area. I miss going down there. Taves, I had never got the opportunity to go on a road trip with you, but I'm sure it would have been fun.
They are fun until you lose to NAU, and then they're not fun.
Yeah, then it's a little quiet coming home, I imagine.
Well, long as we're on that subject,
Might as well get it out of the way.
yeah, Montana falls to number 16 in the nation. I think we were talking about that, and I bet you they fall 6 spots, and they
Yeah,
fell
you nailed that one.
six
looking
spots.
at the results of some of the other teams above and below, and
that's probably where I don't think we're the 16th. I think we're probably better than that when we play to it, but sitting there at 16, everything's still sitting right there in front of you. Going to Eastern Washington here this weekend. But, Tabes, I don't know, and we'll just rehash it a little bit. Bob Stitt kind of was on the same page as what I thought. We really came out flat. Kind of they took it to us. The number one preseason, the team that was picked to win the Big Sky Conference, they lose their quarterback, who was the freshman player of the year last year.
Right.
They just announced he's out for the year, too.
Okay.
Just this afternoon.
Okay. You hadn't heard
wondered.
anything. But the guy that they got was a transfer from
Eastern Carolina.
East Carolina.
And he's had a few games.
And he was
experience.
a starter.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
He's good. He's a good quarterback.
So I don't know, and NAU hadn't played very well. Maybe that was just the shock initially of having Cookus out. But
I think so.
I tell you what, Blake looked pretty darn good.
Yeah, I think it took him a couple games to fit in and get in his comfort zone. But dang, unfortunately, by the time we got to him, he had a couple of games.
And their skill guys were also very good. Very fast guys.
Played a great game.
Emmanuel Butler is a great receiver. J.R. Nelson essentially shut him down. And he had 4 catches for 70 yards, and one of those catches was that 45-yard circus catch that he made, or whatever it was. So, all the truth be told, J.R. played really well on him. So they went to the other guys, and they are just as good, and if not faster than Butler, because Butler's a big dude, but he's not as fast as some of those other guys they had.
Was it that second drive when they made the 2 highlight reel catches on this Butler with the one-handed one, and then on the other guy on the one who had the 80-yard catch or whatever on the sideline, and you kind of went, when you get on the road and you see stuff like that happen, you kind of go, oh boy.
Yeah, and that was the kind of day we were having too, where it was like, okay, let's get a little something going here, and then they make these circus catches, and you're like, well,
yeah, it's third and 15, and they make this catch to extend the drive, and Bob alluded to it too. It seemed like every time that the Montana Grizzlies did something good, right after that something bad happened. Like touchdown, missed extra point, big first down, personal foul, stuff like that.
The personal fouls, that was a real knife in the heart there. That was a bummer to see.
Yeah, and when we do our pregame show on Saturday, of course, we always use a lot of the material from the Tuesday Coaches Show, you're going to hear that a lot about. He was. I don't know. The old cliche. I'm not mad, son. I'm just disappointed. He was really, really disappointed in the lack of discipline. It's like, wow, we cleaned all that up. Where did this all come from again? And so, just little things turned into big things in that part of the game. And, it cost us.
Yeah.
And, he says that we came out flat. I could see it from the press box. You know what I mean? They ran out of that tunnel, and I was like, man, there's just not a lot of air in this room right now. Like I just couldn't feel it on our behalf. And, that was the result.
Huh. Well, tough matchup coming up this weekend in Cheney.
Exciting stuff.
If you thought NAU passed the ball, wait till you see the Eagles. It was funny. I read a quote in the paper. Coach Choate over there in Bozeman said, I thought we did pretty good against their quarterback. I thought we held them in check pretty well. What game were you watching? 520 passing yards?
Oh, I thought it was even more than that.
You know what game he was watching? Our game against him last year. He had 60 passing yards against the Grizz last year.
I mean,
his first college start too.
Just Eastern Washington's good. They got the skill players too. But one thing that they don't have, or that they don't have that NAU had, was Eastern doesn't have a defense.
No.
This could be a very high-scoring, lengthy ball game.
What was the over under for Washington or no? Who did Oregon play their day? Oregon USC? No. The over under on
Oregon and Cal.
Cal, yeah, the over under biggest over under in college football history was like 98 points or something like that, and they beat it.
Well, what Coach Stitt will tell you about their defense is that it's kind of like, don't fall into a trap, because if they are able to get you in a third and fairly long situation, that's where they might show you that they're going to rush a bunch of guys, but really inevitably they'll rush 3, they'll drop back 8 and dare you to throw a ball where you shouldn't. Mm-hmm. Turnovers are a very, very critical element of their defense for, as such as it is. Eastern Washington just tries to outscore you. Yeah, we don't have much of a defense, but you go ahead and try to hang 50 on us.
They gamble. It's a feast or famine type of a defense.
So we're going to have to
90 points was the over-under for Oregon Cal.
Oh, yeah.
And it was the largest in college football history, and they beat it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Double overtime, but, they got it done.
Wow. Yeah. Well, and you know what? We're supposed to have Jerry Louis McGee back.
Yes, sir.
Although he wouldn't have made a difference last week, because the balls to him would have been even higher over his head. Sorry. But our quarterback was not on. He was a little inaccurate, and just something that I don't know if he was extra pumped up, or just when the pressure's on, he likes to kind of go to his back foot a little bit, and the ball sails. Could have been a number of things, but I tell you what, if you would have asked me at the start of this 2-game road trip that we were going to be 1-1. I probably would have been there with you, and I'm still there with you at 1-1.
Still okay with that?
I like it.
Just a little reverse from what I thought it might have been.
Well, it's probably not a must-win for a playoff berth, but it is a must-win to get somewhere, to get positioned somewhere above just one postseason home game. Is how I look at it. Because win this game Saturday, you're probably going to finish the year 9-2. You finally got a signature win per se. You beat where are they now? Number 3 in the country.
3.
Beat the number 3 team in the country at their place. The closest thing you have to a signature win besides that is, at the time, early in the season, you beat the number 3 team in the country on the road. But their season did not go the way they expected it to either. So not quite the quality win it was. And
I think you're playing for a bye week. Too that first weekend. I think you want to get that off, and then not have to go to Fargo the next week. That would be key for Montana.
If you go 9-2, you're looking at second round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
At home. If you go 8-3, you're looking at home.
Yeah.
In the first round of the playoffs.
Probably so.
And against San Diego or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'll tell you, not to sound like whiner fan, but I guess it's okay, because there's nothing. It's not a lottery drawing. It's just kind of a rotational scheduling thing. But what an unfortunate Big Sky Conference schedule this year for the University of Montana, because every team you got scheduled at home this year, you win all of those on the road. If you could have flipped it around, every team that you're playing on the road, you could look at it before the season started and said, man, that's Cal Poly, that's a losable game because it's on the road. Northern Arizona, that's a losable game because it's on the road. Eastern Washington, losable game because it's on the road. You flip that thing around, and it's an entirely different deal because you're not going to lose to Southern Utah, Sacramento State, Montana State, Idaho State. You're not going to lose any of those games on the road.
Well, and not that you would have thought this at the start of the season, but Northern Colorado on the road is not going to be easy.
That will be a tough
They're
game.
Playing pretty darn good. Yeah. So, yeah, you're right, Danny.
Not saying it's automatic, but I'm saying that I like Montana's chances.
I do, too.
That was what I thought was so disappointing about this year's Big Sky Conference schedule. Nobody's picking on Montana. It's just the way it fell. But, yeah, I thought it was really disappointing.
And it'll come around. What comes around goes around.
Sure.
And then it'll eventually last year we had Eastern at home. That was probably the biggest reason we went out there and put up the points we did, because we're coming off all those losses. We get Eastern at home. The crowd's going bonkers. We're playing for our lives, and we put up a ton of points.
That was a rout.
And so that was exactly what we needed. But, that chips don't fall that way every year.
Well, and look what's going to happen next year. We're going to a 9-game schedule, and now you're going to have some teams with 5 home conference games and some teams with 4.
That's going to be I can't say anything about that.
And here's what and you know what, I don't think that
that's not next year though. That's a couple years down the road, isn't it? Once Idaho
18,
gets
2 years.
Yeah.
But I don't think Mr. Doug Fullerton fully had this all thought out before he left as commissioner with getting all these teams and what it would do to North Dakota is probably going to be leaving our conference.
I'd say
I think so.
I'm
50-50.
assuming. We should get rid of Cal Poly and UC Davis. They're not even in all the sports.
I would agree with that.
And then that knocks it down to 11 with Idaho. So you're still going to have a little bit of an issue. But yeah, the scheduling's just going to be kind of funky.
I am not privy to any conversations. I'm not an insider here. I'm not anything like that. I'm just, as a fan who would love to see this happen, I would love to see that scenario play out you're talking about, where North Dakota, maybe Sac State and not Sac State, but Davis anyway. And then we pick up New Mexico State.
There you go.
It'll be awesome. It's not going to happen. Never going to happen. But, it'd just be nice to have that sort of level come into the conference.
Easier to get in and out of.
Yeah.
Into New Mexico. The California trips are a pain in the butt.
Yeah. Playing in the Pacific time zone.
Yeah. And they don't play in all of the sports. So
yeah, I think that's huge.
So Sports Talk tonight with Gurnz and Bedard. We are brought to you in part by Orange Street Food Farm, a locally owned and operated grocery store featuring the freshest fruits and vegetables, fresh meats, and a great beer and wine selection. And by Grizzly Liquor, located downtown next to the Iron Horse, Big Sky, big selection, and online at grizzlyliquor.com. We've got Eric Tabor in the studio, the sports information director over at the University of Montana. Hey, Denny, we better get to trivia. Holy cow.
Yes, sir, because we still got a lot of Grizzly basketball to talk about. They debuted last night with their maroon-silver scrimmages. Trivia is brought to you by Fuddruckers on North Reserve, world's greatest hamburgers. Whatever you order off that menu, you get to go top it yourself to make it absolutely perfect. Premium beef, buns made from scratch every single day. Oh, they have pumpkin shakes this time of year, too.
Oh, I love pumpkins.
Yeah. Through about the second week in November, you can enjoy a pumpkin milkshake. And I'll tell you, Fuddruckers, they know how to make a milkshake. So $10 gift certificate to Fuddruckers. We've also got a gift card that you can use for the Works Car Wash from Brent and the Crews at Happy Days Car Wash. I'd recommend the one on Brooks out by Fairbridge. I'm not sure if they've closed up the other one temporarily or not. They want to do some refurbishing and work on the one at Brooks across from the Dairy Queen over there. But for sure, Happy Days on Brooks out by Fairbridge Inn and Suites. It also has the dog wash. So if you know the trivia, 721-1290, the number to call. Great trivia prize package right there. As we've been talking about, the Montana Grizzlies are in Cheney on Saturday to go up against the high-flying Eastern Washington Eagles on the red turf of Roos Field. Roos Field, so named when a former Eagles and NFL player's generosity made that happen. Prior to Roos Field, Eastern Washington's home in Cheney was known as A, Woodward Field, B, Albee Stadium, or C, Palouse Park. Prior to Roos Field, Eastern Washington's home in Cheney was A, Woodward Field, B, Albee Stadium, or C, Palouse Park. I need a winner in the worst way, at 721-1290. Gurnz.
I like it, Denny. Kind of a trick question if you really want to look into it there.
I'm tricky clever that way.
Interesting. Hey, when we come back, we're going to talk to you about the dart tournament happening in town this weekend. More with Eric Tabor and everything Grizz. Be right back. Sports Talk Tonight.
721-1290. I need a winner.
And now time for
Missoula.
Now back to Missoula's Sports Talk Tonight on KGVO.
Missoula Sports.
Every second of every day.
We are back. Sports Talk Tonight. Gurnz and Bedard. Eric Tabor in studio with us. Hey! Denny, you got us a winner over there?
I do.
I knew it.
Could be a first-time winner, too. I'm not even sure. It's Doug Bowman in Stevensville. How are you tonight, Doug?
I'm good, thank you.
We appreciate you discovering Sports Talk Tonight and our trivia contest and all. Hey, the Grizz in Cheney on Saturday, they're going to play the Eastern Washington Eagles on the, what do they call it, Gurnz? The Inferno?
Something like that.
Something like that. The red turf of Roos Field, so named when a former Eagle and NFL player's generosity made that happen. But before Roos Field, Eastern Washington's home in Cheney was known as A, Woodward Field, B, Albee Stadium, or C, Palouse Park. What do you think there, Doug Bowman?
Woodward Field.
Yeah, Albee's the one in Spokane, and we used to, when Montana, I don't know how many games Eastern Washington played there during the course of a season, but when Montana came to town, they would put that game in Albee just because they needed the seating. But
and we would put more fans in there.
Well, yeah.
That's why they went away from it.
But it was Woodward Field. I guess Mr. Woodward didn't have a problem with the name change. Arthur Woodward, who coached football and basketball, so must go back a little ways. That's how you get a field named after you. Till some guy comes along with money and red fields. So I guess. But yeah, we were looking for the answer. Arthur Woodward, you got it there, Doug, and I appreciate you listening. We'll get your prizes mailed out to you. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Doug Bowman, our latest winner there, Gurnz.
I really wanted that to be Palouse Park, though, because I like that. Palouse Park, yeah. That should be a baseball field, if you ask me.
Yeah. Michael Roos, the former player.
Michael Roos, yes.
And Colin Cowherd as well was a big donor for that field.
Is Cowherd an alumni over there?
Cowherd is a Dirty Eagle.
I did not. I knew there was one of those ESPN guys over there, but I didn't know it was Cowherd. I always thought it was Herb Street for some reason, but no, Herb Street's Ohio State, obviously.
Yep, Cowherd's like he's from Aberdeen, Washington.
Really?
Over there, and his dad was. Oh yeah, Colin Cowherd. Do we have a guest on the phone?
Well,
Denny?
we have a caller.
Caller?
I want to make him feel welcome like a guest, but he's not an officially scheduled guest. But Earl would like to talk darts with you and Eric Tabor.
What's up, Earl?
Hey, listener number 3 here.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I'm trying to work my way into being part of the house band too. But
well, what can you bring to the house band, Earl?
I played tuba for a while.
All right.
We need some good bass.
It
is an Oompa Loompa band.
We don't have a theme song. We don't have a fight song, so maybe we can work you in that way. But Earl, you're welcome to drop in on Sports Talk Tonight anytime you want.
Oh, I listen as much as I possibly can.
That's why you're welcome to drop in. Anybody that would put up with that much of Sports Talk Tonight, got to stop by.
and he's got to put up with me on occasion too. So I feel bad for you, Earl.
Oh, come on, Gurnz. You know I love you.
Hey, what? So the 7th annual Ron Staggs, That's How I Roll Memorial Dart Tournament is happening this weekend, is it not?
Yes, it's this weekend and practically all weekend. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the 28th, 29th, and 30th, over at the Broadway Inn and Conference Center, right there on Broadway. Over there, pretty close to where Russell and Broadway and Mullen Road intersect, that kind of thing. So, we're going to get started Friday night about 7:30, and have what we call a little blind draw. That's where you come down, you sign up, you get a random partner, and you compete with that partner through the evening, throwing some darts and having a good time.
And now
we have cash prizes, and then we have more events through the weekend.
And it's a steel tip tournament, right, Earl?
Yeah, this is the good old fashioned steel tip darts, bristle boards. You know, kind of the traditional traditional way you throw darts. Kind of, you know, it's actually getting pretty popular over in England again. They actually they're actually showing on TV and all kinds of stuff. So.
Extremely popular. If you haven't lived until you've seen English darts, they love it over there. It's awesome.
I'm always amazed. I catch a video view on on Facebook or the internet, and the way they announce these guys that are in these championship matches, it's comparable to a boxing match in Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
They do theme songs. They've got laser light shows.
They've got nicknames too. Phil the Power Taylor.
Phil the Power Taylor.
Love it.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's my darts guy. I know him.
Yeah. Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, he's a great thrower, well known around the world, and they've had some sort of resurgence. They've got some sort of Grand Prix that travels around, and they're doing different countries and tournaments and events. So it's pretty awesome. But here in good old Zootown, we do a couple of tournaments a year. This is our annual fall tournament. So we honor a friend and family member, Ron, who passed away a few years back, and this was his sport, and That's How I Roll was his favorite saying. So we try and get together and honor that every year. So I think one other thing I'll mention is one of the things Ron did. Him and his brother and a few other guys from the north side, they were part of the Sheriff's Law Enforcement Youth Camp, I think up in Sealy every summer, and we're going to try and do a little fundraiser to help those folks out while we're at it, too. So anyway, we just want to invite everybody down who likes darts. Eric, come on down, man. It sounds like you're practically a pro already.
I want to come down, and I'll do my best Barney Barnevelt impersonation.
All right. Awesome.
So that kicks off this Friday night. The deadline to enter into the blind draw is 7:30 p.m. Correct me if I'm wrong, Earl. It's $10 per person per event.
Yep, $10 per person per event. We turn all that money around plus some other added money back into the prizes. Usually we pay down to top 4. If we have enough people, we might even pay down to the top 8 finishers. So
yeah, it's at the Broadway Inn and Convention Center there on West Broadway by McDonald's. Over there. Phone number 532-3300. Call and ask for dart rates. It's a fun weekend, I know, Earl, and if you're into the darts and you're looking to go have some competition, that's where you should be this weekend.
Check this out. Phil the Power Taylor is making almost 500,000 pounds a year doing darts.
Yeah, he's.
Oh my God. What's your prize like down there?
Well, we pay out a few $100 to
all right.
We spread it out a little bit. Our tournaments overall, we've actually turned through all of the different events. We've actually paid out, sometimes in excess of 3. We've gotten up pretty close to paying out $5,000 over the whole weekend in prize money. So it's
that's awesome.
It's pretty fun, and we do door prizes. We try and make it fun for everybody. Yeah. So.
I call dart tournaments for me a donation. So that's how I roll.
Well, me too, because usually most of the time I'm filling out paperwork, but I do try and throw as well while I'm down there. So.
All right. Well, hey, Earl, thank you so much for coming on and telling us what's going on this weekend at the 7th Annual Ron Staggs That's How I Roll Memorial Dart Tournament.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I got one more thing. Go Cubbies.
There you go.
Go Cubbies. So, anyway, thanks, guys.
Hey, thanks a lot, Earl. All right.
Cubbies are up right now.
Big dart tournament, the Ron Staggs, this weekend starts Friday night, 7:30 at the Broadway. Thank you, Earl. What's the score of that game in the 40-degree weather?
2-0, Cubbies.
2-0. They're trying to they started that game an hour early today to try to beat the rain.
A rainstorm, right?
Yeah.
Wow, really?
So it started at 7 Eastern.
Yep.
Not originally scheduled for that.
They were interviewing Terry Francona, and he was going, well, sure, let's start it. I've been here since 10 in the morning. What do I care? Just kind of nonchalant, because you know how those coaches are and those players.
Hey, it's a beautiful day. Let's play 2, baby.
That's right. They have routines, and I think that was his way of saying, it doesn't matter. We'll start early. We'll take care of business. Go Cubbies, though. My buddy Chris is going there on Thursday.
One Wayne Tinkle's going to be there too. I think he's there tonight. Maybe.
Were they there for other games too? Because I saw a picture of him and Trace at the Cubs game last weekend.
Yeah, that was I think that he posted that on Facebook. I didn't know if that was an old photo or if that was a fresh one or not. But
no, he's got series tickets.
what a great series!
Wow.
I
Yeah, love it.
I do not care who wins. I think the more sentimental favorite is probably the Cubs, but wow, to have Cleveland and the Cubs in the World Series, that's
How about the city of
that is-
Cleveland, though?
Oh.
That's what
God.
I'm like. That's just amazing to
Good
me.
for them.
Yeah, they are killing it.
That's very cool. Hey, speaking of basketball, right after we take this break, we will jump right into the basketball scrimmages for the Grizz and the Lady Grizz that went on last night in Dahlberg Arena, and we'll get that information from you, Eric, when we come back on Sports Talk Tonight.
Sports Talk Tonight, live from the KGVO studio.
Missoula Sports.
Sports Talk Tonight, Gurnz and Bedard, brought to you in part by Bell McCall Ford. Great selection of new and used cars, trucks, and SUVs. Great deals on 2016 closeouts. Your locally owned, low-cost auto dealer for over 100 years, downtown Hamilton. By Granite Pharmacy, locally owned and operated pharmacy on South Avenue between Shopko and Big Sky High School. Don't forget to see Granite Pharmacy for your flu shot. We are pleased to have a member of the band in the house, Eric Tabor.
Hey,
He is brought to you by First Montana Bank, your home for free Centennial checking plus unlimited cash back every time you use your debit card, online at firstmontanabank.com. Tabes, I was so dead tired yesterday. I so wanted to go see that scrimmage. I wanted to see Rory play because he's all that they talked about in the offseason, the transfer from Oregon that had to sit out.
for good reason.
I wanted to go see, check out Coach Swain and see what the Lady Grizz were up to and all that stuff, but it just didn't happen. But hey, I didn't feel that bad because I knew you were going to be in here and enlighten us. So why don't we, ladies first, why don't we talk about Shannon Swain and the Lady Grizz?
The sky is not falling in Lady Grizzland. I don't think we're going to be okay. I still don't know half the team for the Lady Grizz, but they look pretty good. I thought the Lady Grizz looked good, and Alicia Sims is going to be one of the best post players in the league. I'm sitting there watching her, and I turn to my buddy, and I'm like, I can't think of anybody else in the league that is going to match up with that right now because she's tall, she's long. She had what was her point total last night? But
it was 20. I think it was 23, but it might have been more than that because maybe she switched jerseys. I don't even remember now. I think it was 23.
Well, she was bouncing back, and they all were bouncing back and forth between the white and the maroon team, or silver and maroon team. But still, just watching her, she controlled the post, and sort of not just boxing people out, being muscly down there. No. A lot of touch, you know what I mean, and a lot of nice footwork. So
you're right, though. She looked very lean and athletic, and I hope she plays like that all year. But like that, I mean, she is at her very best when she doesn't think. Take the ball and go up, and she can do that both right and left-handed.
Yeah,
it's when she doesn't quite get the ball in her hands, positioned quite right. She's as comfortable. But I'll bet you anything that's probably been a point of emphasis this year, especially after Kaylee Valley got hurt, is that this is what we need you to do. And I thought I thought she played very, very well. She looked great last night.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Eric.
Well, I was going to say, you talk about putting the ball in her hands. The guard play for the Lady Grizz, from what I saw, was fantastic. And they've got a lot of young playmakers out there. So I think, I'm pretty positive.
In the last 2 or 3 years, it seems to me that the Lady Grizz have gone into shooting slumps.
Oh, yes.
Where they haven't been able to.
Oh, gosh,
the outside shot just wouldn't fall.
Yeah.
What do they have for perimeter players, and can they hit the outside jump?
Yes, they can. Goligoski looked very good with ball in hand, especially. And Denny, you were calling her name out all kinds of times last night.
That would be Taylor Goligoski from Hamilton. She looks like she can shoot it from deep.
I've known her since she was probably 4 or 5 years old, with her dad coming to softball practices, and she is so athletic.
Well, and longtime Lady Grizz fans are going to be reminded of another player. She is a mini Skyla Cisco in waiting. She has those mechanics. She has those sort of
little stronger
moves and isms. And I mean, she's a redshirt, but still, she's only a freshman. So yeah, I agree with you, Eric. I was very impressed with her, and I thought, let's see, there's a true freshman named Gabby Harrington. She's from Boise, who I was pretty impressed with her. And Michaela Isaac, who is, I think, our lone junior, if I have that right.
I believe so, and she was good.
She struggled a lot last year, but if anybody spent a lot of time on their shooting this summer, it looked like it might have been her. There's a little more rotation, a little more arc on the ball, a little more confidence there. So, yeah, like you say, the sky is not falling.
6 points for Goligoski. Well, it's Goligoski on the maroon team, and then she had 4 on the silver team. So 10 points for her is a great outing, especially because it was pretty obvious. Get the ball to Sims was the kind of idea.
And like the men's team last night, a couple players had to sit out. A guard that you'll expect to play a lot this year, Sierra Anderson, could not play. She was in a kind of a walking boot thing, so wasn't quite ready to go for a maroon and silver scrimmage, but she will obviously be a contributor to the program as well. So
Maddie Schoening had 8 points too. I thought she had a good game.
Shannon spoke very highly of her, liked her a lot. Yeah, after the scrimmage, I was sitting courtside with you, and I couldn't go anywhere because I had to get up and get ready to do the men's scrimmage as well. And Shannon comes right up to me and says, "Well, what do you think?" And you got a lot of babies. She said, "Yeah, it's one of the youngest teams we've ever had." So
I gave her a high five though. I was like, "Coach, looks great."
I thought, gosh, it looks like Michaela worked on her game an awful lot. I thought Alicia was terrific. I think that you've got some pretty talented guard play in waiting. Or even in Taylor Goligoski, maybe a 3, maybe a small forward there. I don't know, but yeah, I'm just so excited for her to see if she can do some really, really big-time things with this team. When you lose the player who was picked to be the Big Sky Conference MVP preseason, I'm just so excited to see what she can do with the cards she's been dealt.
Well, this is what the exciting thing about the Lady Grizz is right now. And this could happen, it could not happen. But your main star goes down, right? What a perfect opportunity for some unknown, for some freshman to come in and just blow the doors off a season, right? And just because she's given the opportunity, just say, "Hey, kid, go out there and play your butt off," and it happens. And you never know; we could see that. It'd be so much fun to see that.
Well, how satisfying would that be? Because now not as much as expected as it was, but to come together as a team and as a young team and to just kind of battle and grow and to look where you're at now, and then 2 months down the road, and it could be some very.
I think that's a key word. They
things.
are going to grow up together because there's just so many. I know that head coach Robin Selvig all those years playing true freshman was not one of his favorite things to do. I don't know that that's necessarily Shannon's philosophy to begin with, but I don't know that there's necessarily a lot of options there. I could see where you'd want a red shirt. I think even without Kaylee Valley, I think they have a roster of, 15, 16 kids right now. You're going to have to redshirt at least 2 or 3. It wouldn't be fair not to, but I got to believe that there's a true freshman in there somewhere that, to your point, Gurnz, is going to be that diamond in the rough seeing some playing time.
Yeah,
I hope so.
Yeah, you're listening to Sports Talk Tonight with Gurnz and Bedard. Eric Tabor, Assistant Sports Information Director over there at the University of Montana. I'm just going to call you the director.
Do you give me a pay raise too?
Well, you know what? We got
talk
some.
To Gurnz.
But we gave you the
title about that.
We gave you the title of house band. That's
all right. I like it.
That's worth its weight in gold
house
right
band,
there.
Yeah,
that's almost as good.
Titles are everything.
On to the men's program.
Yep, on to the men's. What was up with them, Eric?
They were awesome. I
up and down.
Yeah, exactly. Coaches thought that they went in there wanted to see the guys not turn the ball over. Here's my takeaway: they had 17 turnovers, but when you've got that many good guards on the court.
Yeah.
They were just picking the pocket of guys left and right. And it was just hustle plays. And it wasn't like, stupid play here and there, a stupid pass here and there. It was, and one play comes to mind. Ahmad Rory, transfer from Oregon. I think he takes it down, misses a shot. Something he doesn't like happens to him. And on the inbound pass, I want to say Jack Lopez gives it to Saeed Pridgett, new freshman. And Rory just screams around behind Pridgett. Pridgett doesn't even know he's there, and just picks his pocket, takes it in, easy land. And it was just one of those deals where it was just like, don't make him mad because he's going to make you pay for it. And so it was that kind of thing all night long where guys would just get after it and, little steal here and there, little turnover here and there. But I don't think turnovers were an issue at all last night. I thought the best thing to watch was the balance and the depth come through, right? You had Ahmad Rory score 14 points, and he's going to do that. He's going to have a night where he can score 14 without batting an eyelash, because when you watch him play, what impresses me most about him is it's effortless for him. He can shoot a three-pointer just like by waving his hand in the air, and it's a beautiful thing to watch. And so he's going to have nights like that. But then you got Bobby Moorhead on the silver team. The maroon team looked like it was stacked. You've got Walter Wright and Ahmad Rory both on that team. Fab Krislovic, who's started every game since he's been here virtually, and he's going to be your post guy on paper right now anyway. Jack Lopez, who had a great season last year, and Brandon Gfeller, all on that maroon team, right? Stacked. That's the stacked team. But then Bobby Moorhead comes in as a sophomore, has 11 points. He's stroking threes like it's nobody's business, right? He put the Silver out to a 14-5 lead at one point just by their 3-point play, and that was great to watch. You got guys like Aaron Ward. He had 2 points, but he was sort of all over the place on the court. Did some great things. Mario Dunn was awesome. Had 9 points. He can also his shooting looks like it's really improved this year too. He's kind of trimmed down this year, and he's Coach likes to call him a bulldog, man. He's just such an intense guy, and
just like his coach.
Yeah. And so he's going to be fun to watch this year. You know how Mike O'Guiney came out last year, and he was like this freshman who was a wild man out there and scored a ton of points. I think we can expect the same of Saeed Pridgett this year.
Is he a little dinged up?
He's a little dinged up right now. Yeah, he's going to...
we didn't get to see two of the players on the men's team last night, Michael O'Guiney and Alfonso Anderson.
Both not far off. Alfonso is going to be going here in the next week or two, just getting waited to clear up his knee, and then Mike is probably 3 weeks out. So they're going to be ready to go. We might miss them a couple games, but still... And my point of this whole speech is that we got depth, though, and it's awesome to watch. I don't think we're going to have the problems that some people think we might as far as rebounding the ball. We've got guys who can box out inside. We got guys who can crash the boards effectively, and so I really enjoyed the scrimmage last night. I think it was productive. And I do think this team's going to be fun to watch.
That was my question for you. I know it's a preseason poll, but picked to finish second in one poll. That's not too bad. Fourth in the other poll. What is it that, in your mind, what is it that people voting in those polls are seeing as primary weaknesses in Montana basketball? Or is it, it's not so much weakness. There's 2 or 3 other teams that are just better. What are they seeing?
Well, I think, one, you look at the roster and there's no Martin Brenning on it. I think that's really, honestly, to tell you the truth, that's probably the main thing. That if anybody is going to look at our team and try and guess what's going on up in Montana this year, well, that's the biggest thing.
Lose arguably their best guy.
We know that Ahmad Roy is going to be an awesome player. The rest of the conference doesn't know that because he's never, and maybe he's a bust. Maybe it actually happens. He's a bust. I don't think it's going to happen, but that the rest of the conference has never seen him play, so they don't know it, right? That's why Walter Wright was the only guy I put on the preseason all-conference team, is because they know what he's about. They know what he can do, and you've got a bunch of stats there to prove that. So he gets the votes. So no Martin Brenning, and I think a little bit of his. It's Montana. You don't want to. People don't like us around the conference. I've come to learn. So there's a little bit of that, especially in like coaches polls. So there's a little bit of that going on.
Montana as not just a basketball team, but kind of Montana as a institution, so to speak. Is it just because we win?
Because we're the grid.
Yeah. In general.
Yeah. It's like Coach Stitt always says. You always know what you're going to get from an opposing team, and that's their best shot every time because of the name on the front of the jersey. And that's what we do. We get teams like Northern Arizona play their butts off, and they're at home, and they get on fire, and they want to beat the Grizz.
And that's how we like it, baby.
Sure. Why would you want it any other way?
We do all right.
That's right.
In that scenario.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
So that's my little recap of the scrimmage. Other highlights as far as scoring goes. Jamar Coe, he's going to be one of the 2 guys we're not going to see this year. And
he is the Cal State Fullerton transfer.
He's the Fullerton, yeah, and he's a post player from Fullerton, and he is a big body down there. You can say that. He had 7 points, 9 boards, led the team in boards.
I was enjoying watching him play.
He can box some dudes out, and so him and Donovan Dorsey, and Donovan is the transfer from Washington, who's not going to play this year either, but he is the longest individual I've ever seen. I think he's got arms that hit the floor when he stands up straight, and he has got a sweet shot on him. He's a wing. They tried to bring him into Washington and put him at the 4 spot and bulk him up, and that's not his natural position. His natural position's a 3, and so stick him out there on the corner and let him. He's got a real nice shot, and he's long and fast, and he will move the ball and be above the rim for us when he's ready to play.
Wow, exciting basketball.
Oh, love it. Love the overlap.
Exciting because they're going to be up and down for the men, and exciting for the women because you really don't know.
Yeah, that's a great point.
What's going to happen?
Yeah, it is the great unknown, and you're right. That's cool.
I have a feeling it's going to be fun watching that happen with Shannon at the helm.
You know they'll be well coached, and you know that the tradition of the program's going to not go away, and these girls, even though as young as they may be, will continue that on.
You bet. Hey, we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, Steal of the Week, Stupid Athlete of the Week, Stupid Kicker of the Week, I might add. When we come back with Tabe still in studio on Sports Talk Tonight.
Now back to Missoula's Sports Talk Tonight on KGVO.
Missoula Sports.
Every second of every day.
That's right. We are back. Sports Talk Tonight. Gurnz and Bedard with a little taste of Tabor. Eric Tabor, Sports Information Director, University of Montana. Denny, you just reminded me. Hey, folks out there, if you're longing for some Sports Talk Tonight next Wednesday, you might want to head over to the university to Dahlberg Arena and catch out the basketball game because we just might be there. You will be.
Yes, sir. I will be.
So,
Eric will be
Dave's
there. No Sports Talk Tonight show next Wednesday because we start our pregame at 6:30, tip-off at 7 o'clock. Riley Corcoran, the voice of the Grizz, will have all of the play-by-play action of Grizzly basketball exhibition games. So I guess you can't say the season officially gets underway. I still kind of look at it that way. Our opponent, Eric, will be Whitworth, right?
The Whitworth Pirates, D3 out of Spokane, but good team.
Yep.
They actually, I think what did they do? They went to some championships or something last year for D3. I think I haven't looked into them yet. I haven't begun my game notes for Whitworth yet, but last year, talking to coach when they came to town, is they're well coached and they got some guys that can shoot. So perimeter play is going to be on display in that game for sure. But they need a good warm up and they got to kind of sharpen the pencils in that game real quick because then it's on to the Trojans at USC. And then the Cowboys at home. So. This schedule, man, it's crazy.
I'll be interested to see. Riley Corcoran and on the football broadcast, just seamless, just jumps right in there and just sounds so good from the opening kickoff. And I'm curious and excited to hear him do a basketball game and to see what kind of style he brings to that as well.
We will. Let's see. We are on the 9th. Where's November over there? So we have a show on the 9th. When will the men's team leave for Southern Cal?
When will they leave for Southern Cal?
Yeah.
Probably the 9th or 10th. Yeah, 10th, I'd say.
All right, because they play on the 11th, right?
What day is the 10th? Is it a Friday?
The 10th is a Thursday. The 11th is a Friday.
So they'll probably go the 10th, I'd imagine.
All right.
To save class time.
Maybe we can get Riley in here on the 9th to give a report on my first basketball game. We'll make him do my first basketball. He's probably listening going, oh, you rube.
Is Sumberg going to help out again this year? Because I'm really excited to hear him say Yahtzee and bingo when we drain three-pointers.
40 times a game.
I don't think he's helping out anymore.
I don't think he is.
We have got to add some suggestions, though. I think you said Monopoly would be a good one.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Monopoly.
Risk.
Jenga.
Shoots and ladders. Shoots and ladders, Riley.
I like that. If he doesn't do it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to sneak in there and do it.
Tic-tac-toe.
Since we promoted the men's game, we better promote the Lady Grizz game too. By the way, if you can't make it to the ball game Wednesday, you can watch it right here on KGVO. Watch it on the radio. Lady Grizz, we will have them on our sister station 930 KMPT. They will get their exhibition season underway, hosting MSU Northern. That's the night before. That's Tuesday evening, and that also at 7 o'clock. So, yeah, basketball's overlapping the football. I love that.
Right on.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Scott Gurnz's Steel of the Week. It's brought to you by True North Steel, Western Montana's industry leader in quality manufactured and fabricated steel products. Gurnz, Steel of the Week.
Well, Denny, let's take it back to Saturday. College football. A very, very tight game between, it was fairly tight. Penn State and Ohio State. Penn State, I just read a stat. They hadn't beat a top 2 team in like 12 years. They hadn't beat anybody on. There's like 7 or 8 of these things you're like going, oh my God. And you know what? I'll never root for Penn State again, just because I won't. But they're playing Ohio State in a rivalry game. Ohio State had a 21-7 lead at one point, only to see the Nittany Lions score 17 unanswered points to steal the victory. And that happened with 4 minutes and 27 seconds left in the ball game. Ohio State's lining up for what was like a 37-yard field goal or something like that. And Grant Haley picks up the blocked kick, returns it 60 yards, and that ends up being the game winner. So instead of going from a up 24-17 lead that Ohio State would have had, they fall to Penn State 24-21, and that is your Steal of the Week.
That was awesome.
And you got to credit their defense on that last possession too, because Ohio State did have a little time left to try to put something on the board, and I think they were sacked on 3rd down. I think they were sacked on 4th. You talk about a motivated, fired-up defense to try to close that out. So,
and like we said earlier,
that was a huge upset.
Gurns, the best part about that now is that UW is playoff bound.
Yes.
But so UW can totally win out. Here's my other favorite part about what's going on in the Pac-12 right now is that CU is got a very winnable schedule for them. They're looking awesome. And so I used to live in Boulder, right? So I'm all pumped up for CU to actually look like a real football team. And so my buddy and I, we got the Dog Buff Bowl. The Pac-12 championship is going to be the Dog Buff Bowl. And, I think UW's going to win that game. But it's either that or Wazoo is in Boulder the week before. And if Wazoo wins that game, then they're undefeated in the Pac-12 going into the Apple Cup.
Oh, wow.
So it's crazy, man.
Now, where is the championship game going to be held this year?
Levi's Stadium in San Francisco, Santa Clara.
It's funny. I've been to an Apple Cup game.
Yeah?
I've been to a Nebraska-Colorado game.
Oh, good.
I used to be a big CU Buff fan. Nice. Huge. And I almost went there. And Amon Green returned the opening kickoff, and I think Nebraska beat them like 55-7 that day.
Well,
Bobby Houck was coaching there. I was on the field with the Buffalo. it was
Ralphie?
great. We were on the sideline. Oh, it was fun.
Awesome. Ralphie is has been for years the best part of a Colorado football game because they have been a terrible, terrible team.
Yeah.
Well, they haven't been the same since they decided not to offer Guernsey a scholarship.
Clearly.
20-some years ago.
Downhill from there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They
biggest mistake of their lives.
They went to pieces, and
Taylor's on the hill. Was Taylor still there, the bar?
Taylor's, no.
Oh, I got a hat from there, and they had a Jägermeister machine. That was a good place.
So there's a lot of bars in Boulder.
Long time ago, though. Anyways, Denny, my stupid athlete of the week. You know what? I don't know how they're ever going to get this right or when they're going to get this right, but Josh Brown of the New York Giants was released yesterday or today?
Yesterday.
For basically assaulting his wife over 20 times. He quotes it's been over 20 times, but he never physically assaulted her, so I don't know how you've got the 20 in your mind. I spoke bad 20 times.
What is the implication there? It was all verbal?
Yeah, or so, and they made a statement, and Josh Brown changed it. Just a whole bunch of just lying going on, and they had suspended him for a game. The NFL did, and I think the truth has finally come out. And just a stupid man and a stupid athlete. That's Josh Brown, kicker for the New York Giants. I don't know the whole story, but whatever it is, it's not good.
Yeah, no, it's not good. Some of the little bits and pieces that leak out are just so bizarre, and yeah, it's just a real sad deal. And I think a lot of people were mad at the NFL, not so much the Giants to begin with, but the NFL for one game, especially after. Well, I guess you kind of have to liken it to Ray Rice a few years ago.
Well, and to the NFL's defense, it was kind of like the Ray Rice thing where they hadn't seen the video and they hadn't actually gotten the entire report until later. And I tell you what, in any kind of situation, any kind of criminal situation, you really have to be careful not to jump the gun on stuff until you can verify things. But it looks like they did. It looks like the Giants finally did the right thing.
Hey, you want to know something cool?
Goodbye, Josh Brown.
Cubby's got a no-hitter going right now.
Who's
top of the fifth?
Arietta pitching?
Bryant.
Really?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Took me almost the whole show, but I finally got these guys off darts.
Sports Talk Tonight brought to you in part by Jerry Wessel's Tire Center. Locally owned Les Schwab Tire Center provides the best tire value promise. Visit them online at jerrywesselstirecenter.com and by CHS Mountain West Co-op, Western Montana's source for Cynics fuel feed, fertilizer, clothing, and tack for over 75 years. I did some leg lifts yesterday at Access Fitness, and I can barely walk.
Oh, you're a beast, though, Gurnz. You're a beast.
You can't start getting in shape again every month. I'm finding that's a vicious cycle.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm going to start tomorrow.
Oh, man. Hey,
right.
Thank you, Eric Tabor of University of Montana.
Yep. Love having
again,
you, Eric. Thank you so much. You and I will be on the air, Scott, at 11:30 on Saturday morning with the statewide tailgate show ahead of Grizz at Eastern Washington. Sports Talk Tonight, 2 Wednesdays from tonight.
There you go. We'll see you guys later. Have a good evening. We're out of here.